Arthur's nose. This is Arthur's house. This is Arthur. He's worried about his nose. This is Arthur's mom. This is Arthur's dad. This is Arthur's sister. They all love Arthur, and they all like his nose. One day Arthur decided he didn't like his nose. He had a cold, and his nose was red, and his sister thought his nose looked funny. His nose was a nuisance at school. Francine, who sat in front of Arthur, complained to the teacher that Arthur's nose was always bothering her. I want to change my seat. When Arthur played hide and seek, friends always found him first. Snuff. His friends thought his nose was funny, but what could he do about it? He could change his nose. That's what he could do about it. Arthur told his friends that he was going to the rhinologist for a new nose. His friends were very surprised. Sniff. Dr. Louise was very helpful. She suggested that Arthur try on pictures of different noses. That way he could choose the one he liked best. Sniff, snuff. Arthur tried on all kinds of noses. Chicken, fish, koala bear, hippopotamus, elephant, armadillo, toucan. This is going to be a difficult decision. Goat, rabbit, mouse, zebra, alligator, rhinoceros. Arthur's friends waited outside to see which nose he would choose. I wonder what his new nose would look like. Do you think it will look better than mine? I'm going to miss Arthur's old nose. I can't believe it. It's Arthur. Wow! Maybe he won't want to play with us. Arthur hadn't changed his nose at all. I tried on every nose there was. I'm just not me without my nose, said Arthur. It's a nice nose. I still want to change my seat at school. There's a lot more to Arthur than his nose. Mrs. Yolanda, grade 1. Arthur's TV trouble. Ads for the treat timer were everywhere. Now Arthur really wanted one. Treat timer, treat timer, treat timer, treat timer, treat timer. Treat timer! Dogs love them! The amazing treat timer. Dogs love them. Arthur counted his money. D.W. helped. Even with all my birthday money, he said, I only have $10.03. I know what you're thinking, said D.W. She ran to protect her cash register. Arthur decided to ask Dad for an advance on his allowance. Gee, I'd love to help, said Dad, but my catering business is a little slow right now. Arthur knew Mom would understand. Money doesn't grow on trees, said Mother, and I think Pal likes treats from you, not the machine. On the way to school, Arthur was walking very slowly. What are you doing? Asked Buster. Looking for money, said Arthur. I want to buy Pal a treat timer. Those are very expensive, said Buster. You need a job. I need a miracle, said Arthur. At school, while everyone else took the spelling test, Arthur daydreamed about the treat timer. Mr. Ratburn asked Arthur to stay after school to take the test over. The first settlers' home, the Mayflower, Robin, Great White Heron. Arthur took the long way home so he could think of a good excuse for why he was late. Mr. Sipper was cleaning his garage. Hi, Arthur, he said. Every 50 years I clean the place out. I could use a little help. I could use a little money, said Arthur. All these newspapers need to be recycled, said Mr. Sipple. I'll pay you 50 cents a stack to take them out to the curb. Great, said Arthur. I'll do it tomorrow. I won't be home until after dinner, said Mr. Sipple, but you can get started. Everything you need to do the job is here. I'm rich, thought Arthur. All of a sudden, Arthur was in a big hurry to get home. I've got a job, cried Arthur. Now I can buy a treat timer. Can I go to the mall with you? Asked D.W. Sure, said Arthur. I wish you were rich all the time, said D.W. You're much nicer. The next day, Arthur counted the stacks as he pulled them to the curb. 24. That makes $12, cried Arthur. I'll come back later to collect. You look exhausted, said D.W. when Arthur got home. I don't want to see another newspaper for a long, long time, said Arthur. Well, then don't look out the window, said D.W. So that's what the string was for, said Arthur. I'd better hurry before Mr. Sipple gets home. Wait for me, said DW. You're in big trouble, said DW. You missed them over there. The other stuff could be a lot neater. Are you using double knots? Nice work, said Mr. Zipper when he got home. Here's your $12. Thank you, sir, said Arthur. I helped, said DW. Don't I get something? You get a trip to the mall, remember? Said Arthur. The next morning, Arthur and his family were the first ones at the mall. Arthur put his money on the counter. 1 treat timer, please, he said. It looks bigger on TV, said Arthur when he saw the box. You assemble it, of course, said the salesperson. And remember, all sales are final. Pet of the month, puppy. Puppies to go to good homes. Free mice. Lost cats. Doggy shampoo. 5 hours later, the treat timer was assembled. You're going to love it, pal, said Arthur. Pal sniffed it. Arthur turned it on. It clicked. Lights flashed. Treats shot out like rockets. Pal let out a loud book. And ran for cover. Turn it off, yelled up Mother. I'm trying to, said Arthur, but I think it's broken. And remember, CDW, all sales are fine. Oh. Arthur went to his room to be alone. I'm worried, said Mother. He's been up there for hours. I know how to get him out, CDW. It's 7 o'clock, she yelled up the stairs. The Bionic Body Show is on! Seconds later, Arthur appeared. Sit down, CDW, so I can protect you from those nasty commercials. I don't need these, said Arthur. There's no way at TVA will get all my hard-earned money again. It's the magic disappearing box, said the announcer. Astound your friends, eliminate your enemies. The magic disappearing box from Kid Tricks. Said Arthur. No, this could be useful. What would you ever do with that? Asked DW. Oh, said Arthur, you might be surprised. Oh, Corduroy. Corduroy is a bear who once lived in the toy department of a big store. Day after day he waited with all the other animals and dolls for somebody to come along and take him home. The store was filled with shoppers buying all sorts of things, but no one ever seemed to want a small bear in green overalls. Then, one morning, a little girl stopped and looked straight into Corduroy's bright eyes. Oh, Mommy, she said, look, there's the very bear I've always wanted. Not today, dear, her mother sighed. I've spent too much already. Besides, he doesn't look new. He's lost the button to one of his shoulder straps. Corduroy watched them sadly as they walked away. I didn't know I'd lost the button, he said to himself. Tonight I'll go see if I can find it. Late that evening, when all the shoppers had gone and the doors were shut and locked, Corduroy climbed carefully down from a shelf and began searching everywhere on the floor for his lost button. Suddenly he felt the floor moving under him. Quite by accident, he stepped onto an escalator, and up he went. Could this be a mountain, he wondered. I think I've always wanted to climb a mountain. He stepped off the escalator as it reached the next floor, and there, before his eyes, was a most amazing sight. Tables and chairs and lamps and sofas and rows of beds. This must be a palace, Corduroy gasped. I guess I've always wanted to live in a palace. He wandered around, admiring the furniture. This must be a bed, he said. I've always wanted to sleep in a bed. And up he crawled onto a large, thick mattress. All at once he saw something small and round. Why, here's my button, he cried, and he tried to pick it up, but like all the other buttons on the mattress, it was tied down tight. He yanked and pulled with both paws until pop! Off came the button, and off the mattress Corduroy toppled. Bang! Into a tall floor ramp. Over fell the crash! Corduroy didn't know it, but there was someone else awake in the store. The night watchman was going his rounds on the floor above when he heard the crash. He came dashing down the escalator. Now who in the world did that? He exclaimed. Somebody must be hiding around here. He flashed his light under and over sofas and beds until he came to the biggest bed of all. And there he saw 2 fuzzy brown ears sticking up from under the cover. "Hello," he said. "How did you get upstairs?" The watchman took Corduroy under his arm and carried him down the escalator and set him on the shelf in the toy department with the other animals and dolls. Corduroy was just waking up when the first customers came into the store in the morning, and there, looking at him with a wide, warm smile, was the same little girl he'd seen only the day before. "I'm Lisa," she said, "and you're going to be my very own bear. Last night I counted what I've saved in my piggy bank, and my mother said I could bring you home." "Shall I put him in a box for you?" the sales lady asked. "Oh, no, thank you," Lisa answered, and she carried Corduroy home in her arms. She went all the way up 4 flights of stairs into the family's apartment and straight to her own room. Corduroy blinked. There was a chair and a chest of drawers, and alongside a girl-sized bed stood a little bed just the right size for him. The room was small, nothing like the enormous palace in his department store. "This must be home," he said. "I know I've always wanted a home." Lisa sat down with Corduroy on her lap and began to sew a button on his overall. "I like you the way you are," she said, "but you'll be more comfortable with your shoulder strap fastened." "You must be a friend," said Corduroy. "I've always wanted a friend." "Me too," said Lisa, and gave him a big hug. Dr. Seuss's Sleep Book. The news just came in from the county of Keck that a very small bug by the name of Van Vleck is yawning so wide you can look down his neck. This may not seem very important, I know, but it is, so I'm bothering telling you so. A yawn is quite catching you see when you cough. It takes just one yawn to start other yawns off. Now the news has come in some friends of Van Vleck's are yawning so wide you can look down their necks. At this moment, right now, under 7 more noses, great yawns are in blossom. They're blooming like roses. The yawn of that little one bug is still spreading. According to later reports, it is heading across the wide fields of the sleepy night air, across the whole country toward every which way. And people are gradually starting to say, "I feel rather drowsy, I'm not quite in there." Creatures are starting to think about rest. 2 Biffa-bomb birds are now building their nest. They do each night, and quite often I wonder how they do this big job without making a blunder. But that is their problem, not yours, not mine. The point is, they're going to bed, and that's fine. Sleep thoughts are spreading throughout the whole land. The time for night brushing of teeth is at hand. Up at Herkheimer Falls, where the great river rushes and crashes down crags and great gargling gushes, the Herkheimer sisters are using their brushes. Those falls are just grand for toothbrushing beneath if you happen to be up that way with your teeth. The news just came in from the Castle of Krupp that the lights are all out and the drawbridge is up. And the old drawbridge drawer just said with a, "Yeah, my drawbridge is drawn. It's going to stay drawn. To the milkwood delivers the milk about naught." I'm going to bed now, so nobody better come around with a special delivery letter. The number of sleepers is steadily growing. Bed is where more and more people are going. In Culpeper Springs in the Stiltwalkers' Hall, the Stiltwalkers' stilts are all stacked on the wall. The Stiltwalker walkers have called it a day. They're all tuckered out and they're snoozing away. This is very big news. It's important to know. That's why I'm bothering telling you so. Way out in the west in the town of Merced, the Hinklehorn Honking Club just went to bed. Every horn has been quietly hung on a hook for the night in its own private Hinklehorn nook. All this long, happy day they've been honking about, and the Hinklehorn honkers have honked themselves out. But they'll wake up quite fresh in the morning, and then they'll start right in Hinklehorn honking again. Everywhere, creatures are falling asleep. The collapsible frink just collapsed in a heap, and by adding the frink to the others before, I'm able to give you the Who's Asleep score. Right now, 40,404. Creatures are happily, deeply in slumber. I think you'll agree that's a whopping fine number. Counting of sleepers? Just how do we do it? Really quite simple. There's nothing much to it. We find out how many. We learn the amount by an audio-teleo-talio count on a mountain halfway between Reno and Rome. We have a machine in a plexiglass dome which listens and looks into everyone's home, and whenever it sees a new sleeper go flop, it jiggles and lets out a big old ball drop. Our chap counts his balls as a plop in a cup, and that's how we know who is down and who's up. Do you talk in your sleep? It's a wonderful sport, and I have some news of the sport to report. The world champion sleep talkers Joe and Mo Redzoff have just gone to sleep and they're talking their heads off. For 55 years now, each chattering brother has babbled and gabbled all night to the other. They talk about laws and they talk about gauze. They talk about paws and they talk about flaws. They talk quite a lot about old Santa Claus, and the reason I'm telling you this is because you should take up the sport. It's just fine for your jaws. Do you walk in your sleep? I just had a report of some interesting news of this popular sport. Near Finnegan Fen, there's a sleepwalking group, and which not only walks, but it walks a la hoop. Every night they go miles. Why? They walk to such length they have to keep eating to keep up the strength. So every so often we'll put down his hoop, stops hooping, and does some quick snooping for soup. And that's why they are known as the Hoop Soup Snoop Group. Sleepwalking too are the curious Crandalls who sleepwalk on hills with assorted-sized candles. The Crandalls walk nightly in slumbering peace, and in spite of slight burns from their hot-dripping grease, the Crandalls were candles because they walk far, and if they wake up, want to see where they are. Now the news has arrived from the Valley of Vale that a Chippendale muff is just bitching his tail, which he does every night before shutting his eyes. Such a nipping sounds silly, but really it's wise. There's no alarm clock, so this is the way. He makes sure that he'll wake up at the right time of day. His tail is so long, he won't feel any pain until the nip makes the chirp and gets up to his brain. In exactly 8 hours, the Chippendale muff will at last feel the bite and yell, "Ouch!" and wake up. A Mr. and Mrs. J. Carmichael Crocs have just gone to bed near the town of Fort Knox, and they, by the way, have the finest of clocks. I'm not sure at all that I quite understand just how the thing works with that one extra hand. But I do know this clock does one very slick trick, and doesn't tick-tock. How it goes is talk-tick. So it ticks in its talker and talks in its ticker, saves lots of time, and his sleepers sleep quicker. What a fine night for sleeping. From all that I hear, it's the best night for sleeping in many a year. They're even asleep in this wee-back motel, and people don't usually sleep there too well. The beds are like rocks, and as everyone knows, the sheets are too short. They won't cover your toes. So, if people are actually sleeping in there, it's a great night for sleeping. It must be in the air. It's a great night for snores. I just had a report of some boys who are tops in this musical sport. The snortiest snorers in all our fair land are Hortel McPhail and his snoring band. His band can snort Newton. Old Swanee River so loud it would make 40 elephants shiver. The loudest of all the boys is McPhail. He snores with his head in a 3-gallon pail. So they snore in a cave 20 miles out of town. If they snore closer in, they would snore the town down. Do you know who's asleep out in Funa Laguna? 2 very nice Funa Laguna baboona. We've added them to a who's asleep count, which has grown to a really amazing amount. Exactly 8,808 creatures are sleeping now. Isn't that great? A jed is in the bed, and the bed of a jed is the softest of beds in the world, it is said. He makes it from pom-poms he grows on his head, and he's sleeping right now on the softest of fluff, completely exhausted from growing the stuff. The news has come in from the district of Doft that 2 oft are asleep, and they're sleeping a lot. And how are they able to sleep off the ground? I'll tell you. I weighed one last week, and I found that an oft is so light he weighs minus 1 pound. A moose is asleep. He is dreaming of moose drinks. A goose is asleep. He is dreaming of goose drinks. That's well and good when a moose dreams of moose juice, and nothing goes wrong when a goose dreams of goose juice. But it isn't too good when a moose and a goose start dreaming they're drinking the other one's juice. Moose juice, not goose juice, is juice for a moose, and goose juice, not moose juice, is juice for a goose. So when goose gets a mouthful of juices of mooses and moose gets a mouthful of juices of gooses, they're always fall out of their bed screaming and scream. So I'm warning you now, never drink in your dreams. Speaking of dreaming, I think you should note that the Bumbletub Club is now dreaming of flow. Every night they go dreaming to Bumbletub Creek, except for one night every 3rd or 4th week when they stop for repairs because their Bumbletubs leak. But tonight they're afloat full of dreams, full of bliss, and that's why I'm bothering telling you this. At the fork of a road in the Vale of Valvode, 5-foot weary salesmen have laid down their load. All day they've raced round in the heat at top speed, unsuccessfully trying to sell zizzers off seeds, which nobody wants because nobody needs. Tomorrow will come, they'll go back to the chore, they'll start on the roses as often once more. But tonight they've forgotten their feet are so sore, and that's what the wonderful night time is for. Everywhere, creatures have shut off their voices. They've all gone to bed in the beds of their choices. They're sleeping in bushes, they're sleeping in crannies, some on their stomachs and some on their fannies. They're peaceably sleeping in comfortable holes, some even on soft-tufted barbershop poles. The number of sleepers is now past the millions. The number of sleepers is now in the billions. They're sleeping on steps and on strings and on floors and mailboxes, ships and the keyholes of doors. Every worm in a fish hook is safe for the night. Every fish in the sea is too sleepy to bite. Every whale in the ocean has turned off the spout. Every light between here and Farfoodle is out. And now, adding things up, we're way beyond billions. Our who's asleep count is now up in the zillions. 99 zillion, 9 trillion, and 2 creatures are sleeping. So, how about you? When you put out your light, then the number will be 99 zillion, 9 trillion, and 3. Good night. A friend for Mitzi Mouse. One morning, someone new moved in next door to Mitzi Mouse. She wondered who it would turn out to be. I hope it's somebody nice. Mitzi caught her first glimpse of the newcomer when she happened to peek through a knothole in the fence. She saw someone who was wearing a blue swimsuit with matching sunglasses and sitting in a plastic wading pool. Mitzi thought she looked like a movie star. Let me see, let me see. Let me see. I want to see too, yelled Mitzi's little sister Fifi. Shh, said Mitzi. Who said that? There was a splash and the sound of squishy footsteps. And suddenly Mitzi and the newcomer eyeball to eyeball. Hi, I'm Mitzi. Who are you? My name is Mandy. How old are you, Mitzi? Mitzi thought a bit. I'm 5, she said. No, Fifi started to say, but Mitzi clamped her hand over Fifi's mouth. I'm almost 5, corrected Mitzi. I'm already 5, said Mandy. I go to kindergarten. So do I, said Mitzi. No, you don't, mumbled Fifi from under Mitzi's hand. Mitzi said, well, I almost go to kindergarten. I'm going to start any day now. Do you want to come over and play? Asked Mandy. The fence was too hard to climb, so Mitzi just squeezed underneath. Mitzi and Mandy liked each other right away. Mitzi gave Mandy a lemon drop, and Mandy let Mitzi borrow her blue sunglasses. They both decided to become best friends. Mitzi discovered that her new friend had everything. Toys. Everything that anyone could ever wish for. Mandy had a waterbed with a canopy, an electric keyboard, video games, and a computer. She had lots of other things as well. And she never had to share anything with anybody. Mandy was an only child. Mitzi had to share everything with her sister, Fifi, and her baby brother, Max. It didn't seem fair. Sometimes Mandy would say, let's play at your house. Mitzi would answer, no way, it's more fun here. Let's play video games next. Now that Fifi had a best friend, she had no time to spend with Fifi. Fifi felt left out. She began to tag along after them, hiding behind trees and bushes. Why does your sister always follow us? Asked Mandy. She just likes to, said Mitzi. I think she's cute. Does she want to play with us? No, just ignore her. Finally, Mitzi couldn't stand it any longer. Stop following me, Peanut, she hollered. Moo-hoo-hoo. Fifi ran away, sobbing. Her feelings were hurt. Mitzi felt sorry, but after all, Mandy was her best friend, and she didn't want Fifi hanging around and spoiling things. Mitzi was watching Max on the front porch when Mandy came by later and invited her to spend the night. My room's all fixed up now. You'll love it, said Mandy. Mitzi had never stayed overnight with anyone before. Oh boy. Mitzi's mom said she could go, so Mitzi packed everything she could think of in a pillowcase. Don't forget your toothbrush, said Mommy. Don't wear your socks to bed, chuckled Daddy. But Fifi didn't say anything at all. She just pouted. Mitzi and Mandy played until it was bedtime. Oh, goody, giggled Mandy. Let's get into bed a whisper. Okay. Lights out. After Mandy turned off the light, Mitzi began to feel very strange. Mandy's waterbed went rock, 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 and made Mitzi feel kind of funny in the tummy. She said, "Wait, I can't go to sleep without a story." Mandy turned on the light and read Mitzi a picture book. Mandy turned off the lights again. Okay now? Wait, I never go to sleep without checking for monsters. Mitzi looked behind the curtains and doors. She looked in the closet. She looked everywhere. There were no monsters. Mandy turned off the lights again. Okay now? Do you have a night light? It was too dark. It was darker than the dark at Mitzi's house. Mandy began to whisper, "Isn't this fun? I wish you were my sister, Mitzi. You're so lucky." "I am," said Mitzi. "Yes, you have a sister and a brother. You never get lonely." "I don't." Mitzi began to feel homesick. She jumped out of bed. "I just remembered," she said. "I can't spend the night here at all." "Well, why not?" wailed Mandy. "We read a story. We checked for monsters. What else could be wrong?" "I forgot to kiss my mommy goodnight. I never go to sleep without kissing my mommy. Goodbye." "I won't be your best friend," said Mandy. But Mitzi was gone. Mitzi went straight to her mommy's bedroom and kissed her. "I'm home," she said. Mitzi went to the room. She shared with Fifi. Fifi went fast asleep. Mitzi crawled into bed with her. Suddenly she was feeling much better. The next day, Mitzi and Mandy became best friends again. Mitzi said, "My mommy says you could spend the night at our house tonight. Do you want to?" "Sure, neat." Mandy wasn't a bit shy about sleeping over at Mitzi's house. In fact, everyone had a great time, especially Fifi, who was finally included in the fun. Whee! Yippee! Arthur's family vacation. It was the last day of school. Mr. Ratburn gave the class a surprise spelling test. All the other classes were having parties. "Finally, the moment you've all been waiting for," said Mr. Ratburn. "Report cards and..." Ding! "School's out." Everyone cheered. "I can't wait for baseball practice to start," said Francine. "I'm taking a college computer course," the brain announced. "I really miss you, Camp Meadowcroak, this year," Arthur Buster said. "I wish I didn't have to go on vacation with my family," said Arthur. "There'll be nothing to do and no one to do it with." "You'll have DW," Buster said, smiling, "for a whole week." "Don't remind me," said Arthur. Arthur's family spent that night packing. "I wish I could take my dollhouse," said DW. "I wish Buster could come," said Arthur. "This is a family vacation," said Mother. "All we need for fun is each other," said Father. "Let's take my swing set," said DW. "We can all use that." "Well, we're all packed," Father said the next morning. "Where's Arthur?" "He's on the phone with Buster," said Mother. "For the 100th time," DW added. "Before we leave," said Father, "does anyone need to use the bathroom?" "This is your last chance," said Mother. "Don't look at me," said DW. On our way at last, Mother smiled. "A whole week of no cooking, no dishes, Father. A whole week without my best friend in the whole wide world," moaned Arthur. "Once you're at the beach, you'll feel better," Father said. "Are we there yet?" asked DW. "I have to go to the bathroom." Arthur spent the rest of the trip thinking about how much fun Buster must be having at camp. "We're here," said Mother. "Welcome to the ocean view," said the manager. "Where's the ocean?" asked Father. "Just across the highway, behind the shopping center," the manager pointed. "But there's a pool right here." "Well, I guess I'll go swimming," said Arthur. "Me too," said DW. "Wait for me." "Let's see our rooms first," said Mother. "You mean we all have to stay in this puny little room?" asked DW. "Don't worry," said Mother. "We'll only be sleeping here." "If you want to swim," said Arthur, "hurry up and get your suit on." "We have the whole pool to ourselves," said Arthur. "It's a good thing, too," said DW. "Our bathtub is bigger than this." That night at dinner, everyone ordered lobster. "Buster loves lobsters," said Arthur. "This is lobster," said DW. "I want a hot dog." "Can we go to the beach tomorrow?" Arthur asked. "Good idea," said Father. "I'm sure the rain will stop by then." The lobster shack. Our food is so good, we eat it ourselves. "No beach today," DW announced the next morning. "I had a dream about Buster," said Arthur. "Why don't you write him a postcard?" Mother suggested. "Why don't we all write postcards?" said Father. But what do we write about, said GW? We haven't done anything yet. Dear Buster, I bet you're having fun at camp. I wish I were there. Your best friend Arthur. Dear Grandma Thora, you were smart to stay home. XXXO, XOXO, love GW. What do we do now, said GW? This vacation is a disaster. A camp, there's always something fun to do, thought Arthur, even on rainy days. That's it, he said. I'm taking us on a field trip. Cow festival. I never heard about a cow festival, said GW, but at least it's more fun than a motel room. Say geez, said Father. Let's hurry or we'll miss the milking contest, said Arthur. The next few days it rained and rained, but Arthur didn't mind. He was too busy planning new places to go. He forgot all about missing Buster. Do not feed. On Wednesday they went to Gatorville. At least the alligators get to swim, said GW. Thursday was busy too. One sample only. After touring Flo's Fudge Factory, they all went on Jimmy's Jungle Cruise. I never realized there are so many fun things to do in the rain, said Father. You haven't seen the jungle until you've seen it with Jimmy. Jimmy's Jungle Cruise. I want to plan a field trip too, said GW, to the movies. But when they got there, GW was too scared to watch. I thought it was a movie about fish, you wish. Finally, on Friday, their last day, the sun came out. What a day, said Father. Just glorious, said Mother. Even EW was having fun. No one wanted to leave, but the next day they packed up and headed home. We're almost there, said Mother. Phew, said GW. I really have to use the bathroom. Oh boy, said Arthur. I can't wait to see Buster. As soon as they got home, the doorbell rang. It was Buster. Camp was fun, but I missed you, he said to Arthur. How was your vacation? How did you and EW get along? Great, said Arthur. Take a look. Wow, said Buster, you really did have a good time. Splat the cat. Blow, snow blow. Splat stared at the window. When will it snow? He asked Mom. He wanted to make a snowcat, the biggest and best snowcat ever. Try to let it go, Splat, said Mom. Don't worry, it will snow, said Dad. You said that a long time ago, said Splat. Splat looked to and fro. Wait, was that snow? No. The snow is too slow, said Splat. Well, let's snow. Then Splat said, I know. I'll grow my own snow. Snow is wet and cold, said Splat, so he got some ice and put it in a bowl. And Splat said, snow is light and white, so he shook it out his pillow. Next Splat said, now I need a little wind to blow. Splat forgot to set the fan on low and made the bowl overflow. Oh no, said Splat. Elsa shook her head. She said, don't you know, you can't grow snow. As Splat cleaned up the mess, he started feeling low. When will it ever snow, he said. I know, said Splat. I'll think snow. Splat put on his yellow snowsuit. Then Splat took out his sled and put all his ducks in a row. We're ready to go, Splat said. Blow, snow, blow. He waited and waited. And lo and behold, it began to snow. But the snow was just so-so. It was very, very slow. Splat said, this snow is too low for the sled to go, but I can still make a snowcat. Splat got a wheelbarrow. He dumped the snow to start making a cat. What is that? Little Sis asked. A snow cat, said Splat. Little Sis added a bow. She said, now it's a snowy little kitten like me. Splat and Little Sis tried to play catch in the snow, but there wasn't enough to throw and the light was getting low. Time for dinner, called Dad. Everyone sat down to eat, but Splat could barely swallow. He kept looking out the window. Then wind started to blow. The low snow began to grow and grow and grow. Splat and family stayed cozy. They roasted marshmallows by the fire's glow. They made shadow shapes and told silly stories. The next morning, Splat saw loads of snow. Splat built the best snow cat ever. The Lorax. At the far end of town, where the grickle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows,
and no bird ever sings excepting old crows. Oh! Is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood, just as long as it could, before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax, and why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere, from the far end of town where the grickle grass grows? The old Onceler still lives here. Ask him. He knows. You won't see the Onceler. Don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurkum, on top of his store. He lurks in his lurkum, cold, under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of miff-muffered moof. On special dank midnights in August, he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks, and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents in a nail in the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather snail. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count to see if you've paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in his snub, his secret strange hole in his groveless glove. Then he grunts, I'll call you by the whisper of a phone, for the secrets I tell you are for your ears alone. Blurp. Down slips the whisper of a phone to your ear. And the old Onceler's whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through a snurgly hose, and he sounds as if he had smallish bees up his nose. Now I'll tell you, he says, with his teeth sounding bray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. And I'll start way back, such a long, long time back. Way back in the days when the grass was still green, and the pond was still wet, and the clouds were still clean, and the song of the swoomy swans rang out in space one morning, I came to this glorious place. And I first saw the trees, the truffula trees, the bright-colored tufts of the truffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. And under the trees I saw brown barbaloots, frisking about in their barbalet suits, as they played in the shade and ate truffula fruits. From the rippleless pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. But those trees, those truffula trees, all my life I've been searching for trees such as these. The touch of the tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh buttery milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I loaded my cart, the Oncelers. In no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I topped down a truffula tree with one chop, and with great skillful skill and the great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft, and I knitted a thneed. As I had finished, I heard a gazump. I looked. I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I chopped down. It was a sort of a man. Describe him? It's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. Mister, he said with a sawdusty sneeze, I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues, and I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs. He was very upset as he shouted and puffed. What's that thing you've made out of my truffula tuft? Look, Lorax, I said, there's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a thneed. A thneed's something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat. But it has other uses, yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains, or covers, for bicycle seats. Lorax said, Sir, you're crazy with greed. There is no one on earth who would buy that fool thneed. But the very next minute I proved he was wrong, for just at that minute a chap came along, and he thought that the thneed I had knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. You poor stupid guy. You never can tell what some people will buy. I repeat, cried the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I'm busy, I told him. Shut up, if you please. I rushed across the room, and in no time at all built a radio phone. I put in a quick call. I called on my brothers and uncles and aunts, and I said, listen here, here's a wonderful chance for the whole Onceler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast, take the road to North Nitch. Turn left at Weehawken, sharp right at Style Stitch. And in no time at all, in the factory I built, the whole Once-le family was working full tilt. We were all knitting thneeds, just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of truffle trees. Then, oh baby, oh, how my business to grow. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked down all 4 truffle trees at one smacker. We were making thneeds 4 times as fast as before. That Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. But the next week he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, I'm the Lorax who speaks to the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barbaloots, who played in the shade in their barbaloot suits and happily lived, eating truffle fruits. Now, thanks to you hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffle fruit to go round. And my poor barbaloots are all getting their crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies. They loved living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys, he cried, and he sent them away. I, the Once-le, felt sad as I watched them all go, but business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. I meant no harm. I most truly did not. But I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads, I biggered my wagons, I biggered the loads of the thneeds I shipped out. I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more thneeds, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Then again he came back of fixing some pipes, and the old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. I'm the Lorax. He coughed and whiffed. He sneezed and thoughtfully snargled and sniffed. Once-le, he cried with a crupulous croak. Once-le, you're making such marvelous smoke. My poor swimmy swans, why, they can't sing a note. No one can sing with a smog in his throat. So, said the Lorax, please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where they go, I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smog that you smuggled up around here. What's more, snapped the Lorax, his dander was up. Let me say a few words about gluppity glup. Your machine chugs on day and night without stop, making glippity glup and sloppity slop. What do you do with this leftover goo? I'll show you, dirty Once-le man, you. You're glumping the pond where the humming fish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed. So I'm sending them off. Their future is dreary. They walk on their fins and get woefully weary in search of water that isn't so smeary. And I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax. Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap, yap, and say bad, 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 bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, your Lorax, I'm figuring on biggering and biggering and biggering and biggering, turning more truffle trees into needs, which everyone needs. At that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall, the very last truffle tree of them all. No more trees, no more thneeds, no more work to be done. So no time, my uncles and aunts, every one, all waved me goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke-smuggered stars. And all that was left beneath the bad-smelling sky was my big, empty factory, the Lorax, and I. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance, and just gave me a very sad backward glance as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants. I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all that Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with the one word, unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. That was long, long ago, but each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years, while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all of my heart. But now, said the Once-le, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, Nothing is going to get better, it's not. So, catch, calls the one. So he lets something fall. It's a truffula seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the truffula seeds, and truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula, treat it with care, give it clean water and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack. Then the lorist and all his friends may come back.